We've done everything. We have bent over backwards, okay, to create a deal with these people.
That is the key point in U.S. intelligence assessments. You know that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
No, it's not.
The United States did not see intelligence that the supreme leader had ordered weaponization.
As I'm sure most of us are aware by now, Trump has officially launched strikes on 3 Iranian sites, seemingly barreling us into conflict with them on Israel's behalf. And to help break this down, we have a Face the Nation with Marco Rubio himself addressing their reasonings and what the next move could be. So if you can, take a moment, leave us a like on the video. It helps us out a ton. It gives us a boost in the algorithm. And let's jump right into the discussion.
It does not appear that Iran has yet retaliated against the United States. What intelligence do you have at this point about their capabilities to respond, the intent of their proxies? Is there any kind of command and control structure left to activate them?
Yeah, well, we'll see what Iran decides to do. I think they should choose the route of peace. We've done everything. We have bent over backwards, okay, to create a deal with these people. Steve Witkoff has traveled the world extensively, met with them. Well, not even met with them, met through the Omanis with them and discussed back and forth. We even put an offer to them that they wanted elements of it in writing, and we offered it to them. Very generous offer, by the way. We've done it, and we're prepared right now. If they call right now and say, we want to meet, let's talk about this, we're prepared to do that. The president's made that clear from the very beginning.
This is an insane response, given knowledge that Trump has sabotaged normalization with Iran at every step of the way on all fronts. He tore up the Iran nuclear deal, the signing of the Abraham Accords didn't help, to now signaling support for unwarranted Israeli strikes in Iran before ramping up rhetoric against them all week, to which Iran, of whom was negotiating with Trump at the time on a nuclear deal, said, hey, we're not going to negotiate with you if you're backing Israel striking us, because literally, why would they? So to now only further escalate that and then be like, well, now we're ready for peace, now we're negotiating, it's not only insanely stupid, it's almost definitely going to lead to Iranian retaliation. They did so last time when Trump did it in his first term, attacking General Soleimani, and it led to U.S. troops dying. How many soldiers are MAGA willing to sacrifice for Israel?
I think they thought they were dealing with a different kind of leader, like the kinds of leaders they've been playing games with for the last 30 or 40 years, and they found out that's not the case. So this mission was a very precise mission. It had 3 objectives, 3 nuclear sites. It was not an attack on Iran. It was not an attack on the Iranian people. This wasn't a regime change move. This was designed to degrade and or destroy 3 nuclear sites related to their nuclear weaponization ambitions, and that was delivered on yesterday. What happens next will now depend on what Iran chooses to do next. If they choose the path of diplomacy, we're ready. We can do a deal that's good for them, the Iranian people, and good for the world.
Yeah. There is so much wrong here to correct. It's astounding, but you know, the guy who writes the story will always make his side the good guys, and Iran is already claiming that residential areas have been hit. Between the Israeli attacks and the US strikes, hundreds have died, many have been displaced, and by the way, Iran is already the country with the largest influx of refugees in the world, so you're displacing people who are displaced. Also, the CIA, the IAEA, which is the International Nuclear Police essentially, DNI, they've all confirmed through the last couple months, years, recently, that Iran has no capacity or intent to build a nuclear weapon. The UN said that there was no signs of radioactive contamination around the areas that US struck, only adding more defense to that. There's quite literally not only no evidence of what these people are claiming that justify the strike, but there's actually evidence of the contrary if you look at the absence of radioactive material, right? Where, again, to be clear, Article 2 of the UN Charter clearly prohibits preventive strikes, which is any strike on a target that does not pose an imminent threat. So this is illegal.
Are you saying there that the United States did not see intelligence that the supreme leader had ordered weaponization?
That's irrelevant. I see that question being asked in the media. That's an irrelevant question.
No,
they have
that is
everything
the
they need
key
to build a
point
weapon.
in U.S. intelligence assessments. You know that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
No, it's
that
not.
The political decision had not been made.
I know that better than you know that, and I know that that's not the case.
But I'm asking you whether the order was given.
And the people who say that, it doesn't matter if the order was given. They have everything they need to build nuclear weapons. Why would you bury things in a mountain, 300 feet under the ground?
Right.
Why would you bury why do they have 60% enriched uranium? You don't need 60% enriched uranium. The only countries in the world that have uranium at 60% are countries that have nuclear weapons. because it can just quickly make it 90. They have all the elements. They have. Why do they have a space program? Is Iran going to go to the moon? No, they're trying to build an ICBM.
No, but
so
that's
they can one day put a warhead on it.
That's a question of intent, and you know, in the intelligence assessment that it was that Iran wanted to be a threshold
How do you
state
know what
and
the
use this
intelligence
leverage.
assessment says?
And he won't answer that because he knows the answer is that they were not building a nuclear weapon. And that means the strike, again, clearly illegal under the UN Charter. He knows there is no intelligence to support what they are doing. They are doing it for Israel because of Muriel Matelson giving Trump $100 million. And I would hope to God he's read the report that he's citing to state all these numbers, because I sure as hell did, so I'm not going to let this fly. And that exact report that he is citing to get his numbers from found absolutely no intent from Iran to create nuclear weapons, but to instead become a nuclear threshold state for strategic leverage in foreign negotiations. Given Israel and everyone else in the West has nukes, you know, the people they would be negotiating with, which means they would stay under the capacity for overt nuclear weaponry, which every bit of an intelligence, every bit of signal shows that they have, and even U.S. intelligence has reiterated that they've been taking no steps to produce a nuclear weapon. It would take them months to do so if they wanted to start. Again, though, none of this would even be a worry if Trump hadn't pulled us out of the nuclear deal that allowed for consistent surveillance, and the idea that, oh, we think what they're doing is weird now that Trump killed our ability to actually check them out is a justification. Like, that's insane.